I finally finished this review. Here's Carl dancing, shot on the OnePlus 10 Pro. First of all, I would like to apologize for taking so long to finish this video. I have a lot more respect for all the YouTubers out there. I want to say that I value your time, so I'm going to first of all go through a quick list of things about the OnePlus 10 Pro that you may want to know, and then later if you want to know more details about what I think of the phone, then you can scroll through the next part of the video. Okay, so I would like to say build quality. Build quality is very good. You don't have to worry about that one. That's fine. Good stuff here. Software. Number 2, software. So the software on the Chinese version is Color OS, which I think is good, clean, fine overall. I know that the international version, I saw a post that mentioned that OnePlus was keeping the Oxygen OS and trying to keep it more, how do you say, stock Android like. So you don't have to worry about that. Let's see with the international version how the new Oxygen OS looks like. Speaking on international and a Chinese version, if you really want to get this phone, I suggest waiting for the international version, because this phone specifically, a lot of the features here on Color OS are very catered to life here in China and really only benefit if you're living here. So if you really want to buy this phone, it's up to you. You can order it. It still will work fine. Google Apps work fine, except for Google Assistant. I couldn't get it to work on this, but I suggest that you definitely wait for the international launch. As far as colors, we got the green, emerald green, this black version, and they just announced not too long ago a white version. They have to keep it panda. The display is a really good display. I really enjoyed this display. Although it wasn't that much of an upgrade from last year's, so I've heard, this is still a great display that will serve you well for the next few years. Battery charging time was as advertised, about 32.5 minutes from 0 to 100 to charge this phone. However, the wattage test that I did not hit the 80 watts SuperVOOC charge that they claim. It was around between 60 to 65 watts usually, until it started getting more charged, then the wattage would drop from there. But the charge time is fast. Gaming on this phone was my favorite part of the phone. So if you want to get more details on that, head over to that part of the review. Definitely, if you're looking for a sleek phone that can still game pretty well, comfortably, this is highly recommended by me. This phone was really good for gaming. So for the camera, since I did not have a OnePlus 9 Pro, I could not compare the quality or the upgrade from that. But I would say that the cameras are really good, and it depends on your like and your style. Most of these new flagship phones all will serve you well, and it just depends on what look you like the best. In terms of video, I think the video quality is great. However, if you really want to get the best video quality out of a phone, I still suggest you go for an iPhone. This phone, however, still has great quality video, and for any day, everyday life would be great. It also has the ability to shoot in log for later color correction, which is a plus. Head to that part of the review if you want to see some sample pictures from this camera. Network and connectivity. Overall, the network and connectivity was great. There was a couple times where it dropped signal completely, but after restarting the phone, it was fine. And this only happened a couple times. It hasn't happened since. That was about 2 weeks ago. For my final thoughts on this phone, head to the end of the video and let's get started on this review. Some tech reviews have changed. I tend to see a lot of explanation, spec listing, and benchmarking, and in my opinion, sometimes that doesn't matter as much, especially to the average consumer. I hope I can do something a little different and offer you a review based more on the angle of an overall experience and how this product may or may not fit into your daily life. If you are a person that likes these benchmarking videos or talking about specific specs of the phones and technology, then maybe this video may not be for you. But if you just want to get an overview of how this phone would be using it in a daily average use case scenario, then maybe you would find this review helpful. I mentioned in my unboxing that I wasn't too sure on the looks of the OnePlus 10 Pro. After spending a considerable amount of time with it, I can now say that I like it. It's nothing too special, but it has grown on me, and I seem to enjoy the styling of this phone the more time I spend with it. As for the build quality, this phone gets an A. It's rare to see a flagship phone nowadays with bad build quality. This phone is solid, feels premium and comfortable. I can tell you right now that indeed it does have a slight different feel in the hand than the 9 Pro, as the 9 Pro is just a tad slimmer, making it, in my opinion, more comfortable for one-hand use. My favorite part, however, has to be that back soft touch material. It looks and feels incredible. You can rest assured it will not pick up any fingerprints. It is a good look if you are deciding to go caseless. However, you have to be careful. If you are like me, the 10 Pro can be a bit slippery, so I decided to play it safe. Pocketability. The OnePlus 10 Pro is what I like to call a deceivingly big phone. You get a nice big screen to enjoy content, yet you don't really notice the size of the phone when it's in your hand, and it's slim enough to not be bothersome in deeper pockets. However, you will definitely notice if you wear tighter clothes or clothes with smaller pockets. Here's a comparison with the iPhone 12, Huawei P40, and Galaxy S22 Ultra dummy model, so you have a variety to compare it to. No complaints about the build quality, looks, or the size of this phone. However, I would like to see OnePlus create a design where it would differentiate itself from other similar Chinese brands, apart from the camera module. I cannot tell you how many times I reached for my wife's Huawei phone thinking that it was mine, or vice versa. These little things tell a lot about where phone designs have come to. The OnePlus 10 Pro comes with ColorOS 12 and Android 12 out of the box. I'm going to link a video by How2Men. I'm going to link a video by How2Men on the description, and I think he does a fantastic job of showcasing ColorOS 12. You can check that out. He does a far better video than I could ever do on the software here, so check that out if you're really interested in the software. So all I can say is that in my opinion, ColorOS sits between One UI and iOS. It gives you a good amount of customization features while keeping the entire feel light and smooth. It also doesn't lean as heavily towards the iOS aesthetics as other Chinese operation systems do. My experience with using launchers on the 10 Pro, however, has been disappointing. While using Nova Launcher, I noticed a strange occurrence with the animations when closing apps. This only happened when a lot of the apps were open at once. I then tried the same thing with Microsoft Launcher, only to get the same result. I tried with the original system launcher and it didn't happen. Everything worked perfectly. I decided to do a speed test between the launchers, opening and closing the same set of apps on all. The phone ran the fastest and best with the original ColorOS launcher, with Microsoft Launcher just slightly behind. Nova Launcher was the slowest. I decided to just not use the launcher, although I missed the features from Nova since I've been using Nova since the Note 4. I prefer the smoothness and speed of the stock skin for everyday use. I hope this can be changed in the future. We can't talk about software without mentioning some points on how this device may affect your workflow. I was able to install an app from Oppo called PC Connect. It allowed me to use my phone completely from my computer and even drag and drop files between both systems. However, for larger files, it was still best to connect the phone directly using the USB cable. There was no issues connecting the phone and moving my files, videos, and pictures using the provided USB cable. Where I did run into issues was using a USB drive to transfer video. For some reason, photos and files saved perfectly on my USB, but videos would not play on my computer. Somehow the format was changed when it saved in the USB. I did not have this problem using the cable. I'm not sure if that was just my mistake, some kind of user error, but if I figure this out later, I'll let you know. All Google apps work fine on this phone. I just couldn't get Google Assistant to work on this Chinese version. Microsoft Office and Google Docs work perfectly as well. In short, this is a fantastic display. It is one of the best I have seen, and I'm sure you would love it. Second gen LTPO with nice punchy colors. You can't go wrong there. We also have a fingerprint sensor under the display here, and I will say it's good. It's fast. It's not the fastest I've tried, but it's still good. More fingerprint animations would be welcome though. You also get the option for face unlock, which in my testing has been very fast as well. I only have two minor complaints. When using the natural tone or eye comfort option, It is a little strange for me that the lock screen lighting does not adapt the same settings or the same tone. The white balance is warmer as soon as you unlock it. It's nothing big, but it would be better if it was more in sync. My other complaint is some always on displays are too bright. If I set my phone down at night, I don't want it to be a night light. I didn't find any way to control the brightness. If you know how to do this, please let me know. If not, it would be a much appreciated added feature. One new thing this year on the OnePlus 10 Pro is the increase in battery size. It is now 5,000 milliamp hours and claims 80 watt wire charging, 0 to 100 charge in 32 minutes. In my experience, I was able to get 2 days of use from this phone. This was light use, no gaming, just messaging, emails, taking a few pictures, streaming, a bit of music, and some internet browsing. This is how I use the phone most of the time. I came home that second day at around 7 p.m. with 17% battery life. I would usually get 6 to 6.5 hours of screen on time use with this light usage. With heavier usage, including gaming and streaming music through my workouts, I would get 2.5 to 4 hours of screen on time. This was all with moderate screen brightness, highest refresh rate, and resolution set to auto. Now for the charging. My total charging time was as advertised, about 32.5-ish minutes to 100%. In one occasion when I kept messing and tapping with the phone periodically throughout its charge, it took around 34 minutes till full charge. That is still incredibly fast, especially someone like me who hasn't ever experienced fast charging before. However, the 80 watt SuperVOOC charger never reached 80 watts. The highest it got in my test was 75 watts, and that was for a split second before settling between 60 to 65 watts. As the phone charged up more, the wattage would decrease. So why is it marketed as an 80 watt charger? Will this change with an update? If someone has more information on this, please let me know. All in all, the battery size increase is a plus. And the amount of juice you get from it really depends on your usage, so how you use your phone. To me, it really doesn't matter as much if I can charge up my phone this fast. I haven't had any problems with worrying about my battery running out at the end of the day. I usually don't even charge it overnight. When I wake up in the morning and start getting ready, I plug in my phone, and by the time I'm done getting ready, it's at 100%. And I can use the phone usually for about 2 days before I have to charge it. Now, gaming is the thing I like the most from this phone. They really thought of some small details that make this phone have such a good gaming experience. Now, it may not be as powerful as the iQOO 9 Pro or other dedicated gaming phones, but the HyperBoost feature, at least to me, really makes a difference. My gaming experience has been much better than on my iPhone 12 or Huawei P40 Pro. When you launch a game, this Gaming HyperBoost tab appears on the side. This quick setting menu has a lot of useful features that can be quickly accessed while you are playing. You can set it to reject calls or notifications, change the performance settings, take screenshots, and screen record. It also comes with some other nifty features such as Hyper Response Engine that, at least to me, does reduce response time in certain games. Game filters that let you see the game in certain filters such as night vision mode for more creative screen recordings. A voice changer that can make you sound like a teenage girl or an alien during your gameplay chat. Quick access to messages or apps that open in floating windows so you don't interrupt your game. Quick startup that keeps your game running in the background so the next time you launch it, it launches faster. This, along with little details such as the option to swipe twice out of a game so you don't accidentally close your match, make this phone a pleasure to use for gaming. During my testing, the phone never really got too hot. And with the case, the heat was never noticeable to me. If you're looking for a sleek phone with an above average gaming experience, this is one to look for. In my opinion, choosing a modern flagship phone because of camera performance has to come down to personal preference. It comes down to the style and look of the pictures it produces. A lot of phones nowadays have minimal differences. Look, someone who knows about photography can get amazing shots with almost any device. And if you are one of those people, this phone will not disappoint you. With Pro Mode, the ability to shoot RAW, and the ability to record video and log, I'm sure creatives and hobbyists will have lots of fun with this phone. But most people will just pull out their phone and shoot. And for that, you have to really like the style of images that this camera setup produces. I'll let you decide and show a few samples of pictures taken this way. All of these are non-RAW JPEGs directly out of the phone with no editing. This is just pulling out the phone and taking a snapshot. Other features such as long exposure or X-band can draw you closer to deciding on the 10 Pro, but that's up to you to decide how useful these features will be to you. Some drawbacks of the camera that I noticed was that at times when taking a picture of moving objects or people, it had trouble getting a clear picture. As for video quality and colors, everything seems good. It's fine with me. I used it a couple times going out, shot some video here and there. The first time, however, I shot in 4K after about 8 minutes, it started getting really hot. So one of my videos here, the Samsung Unpacked reaction video, I'll link it up there. That one is shot with this OnePlus 10 Pro. And at the end of shooting that, the phone was really hot. I tried again with 8K video, and of course it was even hotter, quicker time before it got hot. However, after that, going out and shooting a few times or doing a little bit more video here and there, I didn't have the same problem. So I wonder exactly what that was. Maybe the length of the video was too long, but definitely useful video. But like I said before, if you really want to be using a phone to be your main camera vlogging video, I would definitely look into the iPhone. Something that it does have over in iPhone, of course, what Android phones have is the ability to export directly from USB-C, which I actually prefer. Okay, this is the OnePlus 10 Pro front-facing video camera and audio. So you let me know how the audio is sounding to you guys. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. For the most part, my connection was good and I was getting great speeds. However, there was 2 occasions where my 5G signal dropped completely and I had to restart the device for it to pick it up again. I'm not sure if that was a problem with the phone or something else. It hasn't done it since, but it is worth mentioning. In all, the OnePlus 10 Pro is a solid phone for a solid price. That is, here in China. We are yet to see what the international prices will look like. However, if they are anything like the 9 Pro, I would say it is still worth the buy. If you are itching to buy this phone, I would say try to hold off and wait for the international launch. Some features on this Chinese version only work in China, and some things stay in Chinese even when the phone language has been changed to English. I would like to end with saying that although I think the OnePlus 10 Although I think the OnePlus 10 Pro is a good phone and a solid phone for a solid price, there are a lot of other phones like that, like this one, especially in the Chinese market. To me, it's starting to blend in with the rest, and it's a fierce market, it's a fierce competition, especially with these phones. So if you really want a OnePlus phone, get the OnePlus 9 Pro. There's not that much difference from what I've seen. When I tested it in the store, it seemed almost the same. If any of these new features appeal to you, like the gaming features, the camera features, or anything of this OnePlus 10 Pro, you think you really need more, then get the 10 Pro. But if you don't really need that stuff and you just want a daily phone that is more than enough, more than adequate for you, and you want a OnePlus, then get the OnePlus 9 Pro and save some money. If you want the newest OnePlus and the newest thing out, you have that extra cash, then I would go for the OnePlus 10 Pro. So it depends on your situation. It's the smallest features or looks that will draw you from one phone to the other in today's market. So I say choose what you like. What works best for you, and what makes you feel good. Don't buy a phone based off the highest benchmarks, pixel count, and such smaller things. At the end of the day, those things don't really matter. Software and hardware experience does. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time.